Hi everyone, my name is Franca and welcome back to my channel. So today we'll be doing some command line. And before we start, I want to go through the disclaimer policy with you. All demo in this video are performed on isolated lab machine that I own. Unauthorized scanning and exploitation or hacking of system you do not own is illegal. Do not try this command on a public network or system you do not have permission to test. Do you want to see the tools of penetration tester use in the real world? From this network scan to password cracking or explain step by step in a safe lab. In this video, I will demo the top pentest tools and explain what each command does and also show defensive mitigation that you can implement. Let's go. A quick uh, a quick note I would like to pass on. Quick ethics note. Everything that you see here is in a controlled lab. Do not run this command against network or machines you do not have permission. It is illegal and it is harmful. So the first command line that we'll be using today is Nmap. So that's going to be the first command line. So these commands are used for the penetration testing tools. So Nmap. I'm going to put my IP address there. My IP address is 10.217. So that's my IP address. So it's going to start running for me. So the A there on this map, this dash A, um, is used for aggressive check, for operating system detection. You want to detect an operating system, version detection, script running, and track rat. It gives you a snapshot of open port that unlikely service, okay? For example, in this lab, it will help you to find services like SSH, HTTP, and all of that. And also, it will expose any services that is running or that is open. So one of the defensive tips that we must use once we run this, we will need to limit exposure. How do we limit to ensure that our services are not open to avoid um, attack? So we will need to use a firewall rules, like create rules for firewall, network segmentation, monitoring of abnormal scanning activity. As you can see, it ran and it shows me if there's any open port, there is any service that is open. As you can see, there is only one IP address that is up, which is this particular IP address. Okay, so I didn't open the other of my system. So let's go to the next command that we can use. Another command that we can use is called the MSF console. This is another command, the MSF console. This command it helps you to bring together exploit, auxiliary modem, and payload. Okay, so let's run this command and see the modem and auxiliary that is going to bring up for us. So once we run this command, once we launch it, it's going to give us like a framework. As you can see the framework, it is also known as Metasploit. Okay, it helps you to exploit against lab targets. And the defensive tip that you must implement is to patch any vulnerability. So once you have run this, you patch. If there is a defensive tip, is to patch vulnerability service, enable host-based and end detection response, which is EDR, and the login, monitor for suspicious process, and reverse connection. So we're going to be running our third penetration uh, testing two command. So I need to put Control Z so that I can have access to run the other one. It is called the SQLMap, the SQL injection testing. So I'm just going to pull it up, and this is the command for the SQL injection testing. The U that you see right there stands for a specific target, like a URL, and the DD, the dash dot DBS tells us about the enumerated database. It enumerates database if it can find any injection on your database. It is useful for quick validating whether a parameter is injectable and what data may be accessible in control test. So it helps you to be able to see if the parameter is prone to injection. Another defensive method that we can use while running this SQL and to ensure that there is no injection is to ensure that we sanitize our input. We use parameters that can be queried, and also we enforce the least privilege for our database accounts and monitored database query anomalies. So I'm going to run this command line, this SQLMap, to see if there is any injection parameter on this injection. So to query the parameters, okay, you see, this is what we see here. It's a legal disclaimer. The use of SQLMap for attacking target without prior mutual consent is illegal. Like I said in the beginning of the video, do not run this command on machines that is not yours or that you do not have access to without don't run on a system that you do not have permission to do. Now, so once it runs, it tells me critical, okay? And so there's something here that you can see, wow, this is beautiful. It said, it tells me critical host lab IP does not exist. It doesn't exist. You know why? Because right under lab underscore IP, I'm supposed to put my IP address. Then it said, warning, the SQL map version is outdated. So I'm going to put in my IP address and see what the output is going to be. So I'm just going to erase this and run my IP address. So that's my IP address. So I'm going to run and see what the output is going to be. Okay, now it's telling me that testing connection to a target URL. Like I said, the dash U represent a target URL. Critical, unable to connect to the target. Okay, connection refused. Then, and it's the SQLMap is going to re-entry the request. So it's going to do it second time. Then it did second time. It's unable to connect to the target. Okay, and it shows that this version is outdated as well. So let's go to the other command line, the other commands that we're going to use for this penetration testing. We're going to be using command like the Hydra is also known as, it is a brutal force login. Brutal force login. So the Hydra automate credential guessing, where credential is being guessed, where an attacker want to get your password, your login, your user ID, and all of that. Please only use it against system that you own or with permission. Do not run this command, I say again, on a machine that is not yours or a system that you don't have permission to run. So this is the command. It is used to automate credential guessing, where we try to guess the credential of a particular system or machine. So I'm still going to take this off and put in my IP address, which is 10.10.10.217, and I enter that. So what is it do? Is it you say once you run the command, it keeps once you run penetration testing uh, commands and tools, it brings you this information, making sure that you are allowed that you cannot run this on a system that doesn't belong to you. Okay, so it tells us that the HTTPS and GitHub and all of that starting warning many SSH configuration limit the number of parallel tabs. It is recommended to reduce the tabs using tash 4 and all of that. Error 5 for password not fine. So when I ran this, there was no file for password that was fine. There was no information. We have systems that stores password and all of that. When an attacker run a brutal force login into a system that is prone to vulnerability, these attacker they are able to get the credentials of that system. So how do we defend this? To defend this, we'll need to use a limiting rate limiting such as account log out. So after a user try to log in into account severally and there is a repeated fail attempt, there should be a time that will log out the the user, and then the user have to wait for that time before the user can have try the password again. Another thing that we can use to avoid this is multiple factor authentication, where we have to do where the user have to go through multiple authentication factor to be able to identify if that's the user or if someone else is assessing, trying to pull up the credential from the system. Another way defense tip is to have a strong password policy. The next command that we'll be talking about, the command is known as Burp Suite. The Burp Suite command, so let me clean this off. The Burp Suite command actually is not like a command, but it is an interactive GUI proxy for testing web app proxy traffic. It also used to for intercept requests, flows input, and also test authentication flow. So when you look at the two bronze suit, it's actually an interactive GUI. It's not like a command line. It's just interactive GUI proxy. So the defense mechanism here use a web application firewall, WAF, impute validation, secure coding practice, and also log and alert unusual pattern. So that's that. Another command that we can use for penetration testing is the Wireshark command. I just want to put this there. This is the Wireshark. Let's see it like this. Is the Wireshark command. The Wireshark command, it is used to capture and intercept a network packet. So when there is a flow of a network on the system, the Wireshark is used to capture that. To know more about Wireshark, please go through my previous videos. You'll be able to see the hands-on on how we're able to use the Wireshark to the capture capture network. And it's also important that we use a secure protocol. to ensure that our system is not accessible when being sniffed by an attacker. Using HTTPS and the first tip for the use of Wireshark to ensure is to avoid a clear test protocol in production. So during production, avoid the use of a clear test, a test that is not encrypted, and it's better you use TLS or HTTPS. And also another defense tip is to monitor for unusual traffic and use the IDS/NISM to detect sniffing activity. So the other command that I want us to look at is the aircrack-ng command. This is for Wi-Fi password cracking. When an attacker tries to crack your password. And you must know that this command is not only used by attacker, it's also used by a defense penetrate. It's also used by for penetration testing, for not just for attackers alone. So, but I'm just looking at the attacker session today, where attacker tried to crack into your password, your Wi-Fi password, and to analyze and test a Wi-Fi security, only network you on. So if you're using this aircrack-NC, please use it only on the network that you own. Okay, so to do this, this is a command that you can use to run that. But right now you may not see anything. I'm just giving you the commands can be used. You can see it's telling you error, opening dictionary, word list and all of that. So because it's just a command, there are other protocols to it, other procedures to it to be able to crack your Wi-Fi. And it takes a capture handshake and a word list. Okay, then the defense tips that we must look here is we have to use a strong WPA tools or WPA3 passphrases, and we have to disable the WPS. So once you're running this, you have to ensure that WPS is disabled and just the secured wireless protocol is enabled. And also monitor for rugged AP or uh, the authentication attack. Another command line or commands I want us to look at is the John/John the Ripper. It's also a password cracking command. And this is for example, uh, especially for Python, you see this is a command. This is just an example of the command. I just say jump hash dot task. Okay. And but I don't have that on my file. The John load a file of hashes and attempt to crack them using a word list and rules set. Useful for red team and defender to audit password strength. So the command is this command, this tool is useful for both the red team and the defender to audit password house, the password strength, the strength of the password. So what the attacker does is to load a file of hashes and attempt to crack it. Even the red team also does do that to ensure to see if the password is crackable. So the defense tip that we should use here is to use a strong hash plus sort. If you haven't done your security plus, counter security plus, please go ahead and do it. So this will give more details about the hash plus sorted password with a strong algorithm. and also enforce rotation and multi-factor authentication. So another tool for penetration testing is the Nikto tool. This is used for web server scanner. The Nikto um, quickly scan the web server for common misconfiguration known as CGI. CGI, for example, if you're running this command, it's going to be Nikto dash H, then you have the HTTP. So I'm just going to put in my my IP address here, as you already know. Okay, so this need to check for outdated software, default files, insecure setting, and it is quick recognizance scan. Defensive tips is keep your web server software up to date. Remove a default page and use a security. So the last penetration to testing that we're looking at is the Reconnaissance, which is used to automate open source information gathering. It is useful in early gathering of information. For example, where we have the recon-ng, it is a method, a modem to collect info about a target. For example, the target DNS, the target host, machine, and all of that. It has a modem to query O6 sources and collect infrastructure info. It's used for it's great for building an inventory in a legal context. Okay, so the defensive tool while running this is to monitor ex- exposed assets and take down sensitive data. Is used for threat intel to detect OSIS-based targeting. Okay, so basically, the recognizance is for gathering of information on a particular target. So let's see if we can a particular target. As you can see, so this version check is disabled. It's not enabled on my system, but it's asking me to enable or install it. Okay, it's just used for gathering information. I have another one which would be like the last that I'll be looking at today. It is called the enumerate for Linux. So it is used mostly for SMB slash window enumeration, all of that. It is helpful. It is used for finding exposed shell in a lab. For example, if I take this Control Z, and I'm going to run this command, and I'm going to put in my IP address here as well. It's called env for Linux. Um, so you already know my 217. Okay, as you can see, it is used to check if there is capture information regarding SMB share and all of that. And you can see the -A there before the IP address. This -A that you see on this command is for several enumeration routine like shares, user, operating system information. It is a common tool in post-scan enumeration. The defensive method that should be implemented, is to limit the SMB exposure to internal network and also to disable the SMB version 1 and also restrict share permission. Uh, you know, not all users should have access to be sharing and all of that. There should be a restriction on the share permission and also enable login and monitoring. As I'm rounding up all of this, the use of pen test tool, if you want to download a sheet, like a sheet, or to you want to get more information regarding this, and you want a cheat and a lab virtual machine that I use, and you want to check the description link on my lab and resources, and also hit like if you found this useful. Subscribe for weekly cybersecurity lab and drop your comment on what tool you want a deep dive on next. And thank you.